Hi, my name is Heather Miller. I'm the program director with the Diabetes Hope Foundation, and thank you for joining us for the 2024 Scholarship Information Session tonight. The purpose of this workshop is to share with you some information about how to make your scholarship application as strong as possible, as well as to share a little bit about the Diabetes Hope Foundation and the other programs and resources that we offer. I'm going to start just with a quick history of the Diabetes Hope Foundation, and I like using this image. It's one that one of our scholarship recipients created for us and really does a great job of kind of giving a visual representation of the history of DHF. So Diabetes Hope Foundation was founded by Barbara Pasternak, who is our current CEO, shortly after two of her three boys were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes within a couple years of each other. Barbara did a lot of work sort of supporting the diabetes community, and as her boys were sort of growing up and going through the pediatric healthcare system and preparing to transition to the adult healthcare system, she recognized that there was a need for extra support for students who were in those transition years. And so in 1999, she launched the scholarship program. To date, we've given out 900 scholarships, which is a really exciting milestone for us. And sort of through the scholarship program, Barbara, through reading the applications and talking to the recipients, she realized that there was also a need for some informational, social, and emotional support for students who are living with type 1 diabetes. So after flying across Canada and talking to all the different clinics, we've developed a number of different resources and programs that are all free to help students living with type 1 through those transition years. If you want to learn more about the history of DHF, you can go to our website, diabeteshopefoundation.com, and click on the tab for Our Story, and it's got a little bit more about Barbara and her family and sort of how the organization has grown over the last 25 years. So tonight's workshop is about our scholarship program. So Barbara created that as a way to not only provide financial support, but to celebrate and recognize students' achievements while managing type 1 diabetes and being a leader in the community. So really recognizing the strength and resiliency that that takes. The scholarship program contains both merit and need in their scoring metrics. And I just want to remind you to double check your eligibility before you start applying, because a lot of work goes into the application. You just want to make sure that you do qualify. Three things to keep in mind. You need to be in your final year at a Canadian secondary school or a CJEP program and planning to enter an accredited post-secondary institution this September, so September 2024. You need to be registered with a Canadian pediatric diabetes program or a healthcare provider, and in your transition year to adult diabetes care. I know some of you have already started that and may have transitioned by the time you start school. And you need to have been receiving care for type 1 diabetes by a pediatric healthcare team for a minimum of 1 year at the time of the application deadline, which is March 4th. If you're not sure if you're eligible, please send me an email and I can let you know. You can also visit dhfscholarship.ca and you can get all of the guidelines and the eligibility criteria there as well. The other thing you need to make sure that you have is a valid SIN number. In order for us to disperse the money to you, you need to have a SIN number for tax purposes. If you don't have one yet, for whatever reason, start looking into that now. So if you are successful with your application, you have one ready to go. All applications need to be submitted by March 4th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please make sure you hit submit. We've had people in the past who have filled out their application, forgotten to go back and hit submit, and then we can't consider that application because it's not within the deadline. You also need to make sure that all your references have been submitted by that deadline. If a reference hasn't completed the form by March 4th, then it won't be considered when assessing your application. If you have any questions, you can reach out to myself, Heather at diabeteshopefoundation.com, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. And if you're having any technical issues with SurveyMonkey, which is the platform that we host the application on, you can reach out to my colleague Vivian at diabeteshopefoundation.com. Did anyone have any questions about the sort of basics of the scholarship program? I see someone in the chat asking if they're currently on a gap year, if they can apply. So yes, if you graduated in June of 2023 and you decide to take a gap year, you can apply for the scholarship. I will let you know though that if you apply and you receive the scholarship and decide you're not going to school, you can defer your scholarship for 1 year. If you've already taken a gap year, then you can't defer it further. So just make sure that you're planning to go in September, and then you're welcome to apply. Just send me an email so we can make a note on your file for the review committee so that they know that the exception's been made for you. I see a question asking about if you were diagnosed in less than a year. So that's decided on a case-by-case basis. So again, you'd have to send me an email and then I would take it to the scholarship committee. We kind of have to know a little bit more about how things are going with your management, and then we would make a decision and again, make a note in your file to make sure that everything gets processed okay. All right, let's move on. 3 things I want to sort of really make sure you take from the presentation tonight. First, this application, what the scholarship committee is looking for is they want to get to know you. So make sure that you take your time, provide thoughtful answers, especially for your short answer and essay questions. Not only does it help the committee get to know you, it's where the bulk of your score is. We ask that you don't rely on ChatGPT or AI software. Again, the committee wants to get to know you, so we want to be able to hear your voice in your writing. And just keep in mind that the committee is looking for you to clearly demonstrate that you're thoughtful and prepared for the transition to post-secondary school and you're taking the necessary steps to help you succeed. So developing the skills you need, accessing the tools to support you with that transition. I'm just going to go over how the applications are scored. So once you hit submit on your application, DHS staff review it to make sure you meet the eligibility requirements and the application is complete. All names and identifying information are blinded so that the Scholarship Advisory Committee doesn't see them. Our advisory committee, you can find out who they are by visiting our website, diabeteshopefoundation.com, and just going under the committee tab. It's made up of DHF board members, clinicians in the diabetes community, representatives from some pharmaceutical industries, former scholarship recipients, and volunteers who are in the diabetes community and have experience with type 1. If there is a conflict of interest with one of our committee members, so if your endo is one of the members on the committee, then we would make sure that your application gets assigned to someone else to reduce potential bias and make sure it stays anonymous. The committee members, once they get their assigned applications, use a standardized rubric to score them, and then those scores are submitted through the SurveyMonkey portal where they're averaged out, and the scholarships who have the highest average scores are the ones who receive the scholarship. All applicants will be contacted by mid to late April by either myself or Barbara Pasternak about the outcome of your application. Are there any other questions, or any questions, I guess, about how the applications are scored? I see someone asking about the number of applications. So we haven't confirmed that yet because we're still waiting on some of our donors to get back and let us know how many scholarships they want to sponsor, but it's usually between 30 and 40 that we give out annually. Okay, I'm just going to go through each of the sections of the application and point out some key tips to keep in mind. So the first section is your academics, which is worth 10 points. All you need to do is enter your most recent final average. So you just finished first semester of grade 12, so you'd put in that average. If you got 87%, you'd put in an 87. You also need to upload a PDF version of your transcript. So if you don't have that, please contact your school or school board as soon as possible because it can sometimes take a while to get it. The portal will not accept photos because sometimes they're hard for us to read. You'll be asked about what your top school and program choices are. That part of the application is not graded. We just use that for matching scholarship recipients. So we have some donors, for example, who want their recipient to be going into the arts or going into study medicine, or someone who's got a strong sports background. So that's how your school choices and program choices are graded. The next section is achievements. You can list up to 5 unique achievements that can include academic awards, awards in the arts, leadership awards. Please make sure your achievements are ones from your secondary school career. We don't want to hear about MVP when you were 6 for your T-ball team, as exciting as that might be. If you're not sure if an achievement qualifies, you can send me an email. Again, heather@diabeteshopefoundation.com, and I will let you know. Any questions about academics or achievements? I see someone in the chat asking about the IB program, where you're graded out of 45 instead of a percentage average. Good question. So if you go to the IB website, you'll see a breakdown. So each class you get a mark out of 7, I think, like that, a level. On their website, they have a breakdown of what percentage that would be. So you just have to go in, line up all your classes, get the percentage, average it, and then that's what you would put in the application. Just send me an email so that we can flag your application that you are in the IB program, just in case the committee has any questions or doesn't understand why there's different numbers on your transcript. Okay, we'll move on to the next section. So leadership and community impact. This is similar to the achievement section. 5 points. You can enter up to 5 unique examples of leadership and community impact. Multiple years of doing the same thing don't count. So if you're a soccer coach For 5 years running, that would count as one leadership or community impact activity. Entries can include both activities that are completed with a formal organization or self-directed activities, such as organizing community cleanups in your neighborhood, helping an elderly neighbor on a regular basis. So you can't just bring their garbage bin in once and write that down, but if you help them sort of throughout the year with yard work or helping walk their dog or something like that, you can put that down. I just ask if you're not sure. Again, send me an email and I will let you know if it counts or not. The next section is financial need, which is also worth 5 points. This is just kind of a click boxes question. Select all that apply. Some of them ask for sort of verification information. So if you're working part-time, we want to know who your employer is. And this section is subject to verification. So just so you know, we may be following up. Because we don't have an exhaustive list of all the potential circumstances that would lead to financial need, there is an other options. So you can check that and put in your own personal circumstances. If you're not sure something counts, again, not to sound like a broken record, but you can send me an email and I will get back to you and let you know. Are there any questions about leadership and community impact or financial need? No? Okay. Now we're getting to the short answer part of the application. So the first section that you have to sort of write for is about the Diabetes Hope Foundation, which is worth 5 points. The best way to prepare for this is to explore the DHF website, follow us on social media. Being here tonight is a great way as well to learn as much as you can about DHF and what sets us apart, what makes us unique. Provide a thoughtful answer, please. We're not looking for just a list of programs that we have. Make sure you read the question carefully and answer it as fully as you can. The next question is transition preparedness. This is 15 marks divided between 3 different questions. Each question gives you 250 words to answer. Please make sure you read each question carefully and answer it fully in order to get the maximum score possible. Take a minute to consider all the potential resources that are available to help you with your transition, because again, the committee is looking for you to demonstrate that you're aware of the skills needed. You're looking at the resources that are there to help you. If you have concrete examples of how you've already started to develop those skills or the research that you've done, then that is wonderful. Any questions about either of these sections? No? Perfect. Okay, the last 2 sections, the essay question, which is 16 marks. Again, this is your chance to really let the committee get to know you a little bit and what your journey with diabetes has been. Make sure you read the question fully and answer all parts of the question. And again, please don't rely on ChatGPT. The committee really wants to get to know you, how you manage your T1D on a regular basis. So take your time to make it personal and let them get to know you a little bit. The last section is the references. You have the option to submit up to 4 people to act as a reference. You'll put their information into SurveyMonkey, and then SurveyMonkey will send them an invitation to fill out the reference form. Please make sure you're choosing your references carefully. You want to make sure that they can speak to both your strengths as a student, as a community leader, and as someone living with type 1, so how you manage it day to day. We're not going to be asking them for your A1Cs or how often you're going low, but just how you get through the challenges that come with type 1 diabetes and overcome them. You can't ask your parent or primary caregiver to act as a reference, but anybody else is fair game. So volunteer supervisors, coaches are a great one, teachers are great references, neighbors who have seen you grow up, and anybody from your medical healthcare team you can ask as well. Just a reminder, your references need to be submitted by the application deadline, so make sure you get them the form soon, follow up with them, and make sure if they are having any technical issues that you reach out to us so we can help figure that out with them. Are there any questions about the essay or the references? So I see someone's asking how long the essay question can be. So it's a 500-word limit. So it's not long, but you want to kind of make the most of each word that you have there. I would try and get close to that 500-word limit so you can make sure you're getting as much information in there as possible, but also don't just ramble, like make sure it's thoughtful and well written. And I see a technical question that references that they've submitted, but it's not showing up in your application. Do you need to wait to submit before that shows up? So no, you should be able to see that your references have been submitted before you hit submit. Please don't hit submit unless they've all the references have been filled out for you. If it's not showing up there, maybe just double check with the references that they remembered to hit the submit or save button themselves. I know some people go away from web pages without kind of making sure they've hit submit. If they have, then reach out to Vivian and we can look into it and see what's happened on the back end of things. Just one more tip for references, make sure that the email that you're putting into SurveyMonkey is the one that they're signing in with. If you use their work email and they're trying to sign in with their personal email, it's not going to connect them to your application, which can be frustrating. So just make sure that they're using the same email that you submitted. And again, any technical issues, reach out to Vivian, or you can reach out to myself as well. Okay, so the last piece is just a little bit about the free programs and resources that we offer at DHF, and I just want to emphasize the free part, so everything is free to you to use. And the first is our transition guide, which is available either as a downloadable PDF or you can use our new online version. This is information about all the colleges and universities across Canada, so over 190 schools. We've kind of done the research for you, so you can log into the site and find out about where the nearest diabetes clinic is to the campus, what pharmacies on campus, what their healthcare program is. You can find out about accommodations. We've got tips in there from our alumni. There's information about mental health and social supports on campus if there's a diabetes club. So it's a great resource to kind of compare schools that you're looking at going to, and once you've accepted a school, to do that research ahead of getting to campus. I also suggest you visit our Transition Resource Hub. We're currently building it out, so if you check back every month or so, there'll be new resources there for you to access. One of them is our Transition in the Kitchen Resource Guide, which has simple, easy, delicious, healthy recipes that you can learn to cook. If you just want to give your parents a break, or if you're going to be living away from home, it's always nice to have a few quick recipes in your back pocket. We also have a huge library of YouTube videos that talk about the different aspects of transitioning that you can find through the Transition Hub. And then there's some resources for parents and clinicians as well. We also have our Hope Connects peer support program. So there's a few different elements to this. You can apply for a one-on-one peer mentor, and that's open to anybody across Canada who's in grade 12, first or second year university. And we match you up with a upper year university university or college, I should have said. We match you with an upper year university or college student or recent graduate, and they're just there to kind of guide you through the process of starting post-secondary school, be there as a sounding board when your sugars aren't doing what you want them to be doing, you can't figure it out, and just have someone in your corner who gets it, who's been through it, and who can understand sort of the highs and lows of living with type 1. Also through our Hope Connects program, we have monthly drop-ins on Zoom, so you can follow us online to find out the details about that. There are a mix of kind of informational ones and then just kind of a fun hangout to meet some new dia buddies. We have a new Discord server called TUND Campus Connects that you can connect with through our website. It's just a place to kind of, again, come together with other people with type 1 and talk about things like what your favorite pump is and why, or how to deal with people who, I don't know, think your pump is a pager and it drives you crazy, that kind of stuff. So it's a place to either get support or also give support based on your own lived experience. And then the last aspect, 3 times a year, we partner with some campus diabetes clubs from across Ontario and run different events. So we have one in November called Don't Sugarcoat It. We have one coming up at the end of this month called Pump the Love. And then in March or April, we'll hold a club fair. So if you're going to one of the campuses that has a diabetes club, you can come and connect to the members there, find out about the resources they have available. Our last program is our new arts program called Free to Be, which is an in-person program for anyone who's living in the Toronto area. It's a 6-part workshop series that uses both visual and dramatic arts to explore what it's like living with type 1 diabetes, and it culminates in an art showcase so you can invite parents and family and friends and clinicians to come and sort of learn a little bit what it's like to live with type 1 in a fun way. If you're interested in that, that's not up on our website yet, but you can send me an email and I'll put you on the waiting list. If there are any parents in the audience tonight, we also have our Pep Talks program, which you can find about again on our website, which is a 4-part virtual support program for parents of youth who are pre-transition or transitioning or have already transitioned, just some skill development and a place to connect with other parents and talk about some of the challenges and some of the successes of supporting your family through the transition with diabetes in the back seat with you. Any questions about the programs, please feel free to reach out. I hope to connect with some of you through Hope Connects, and if you're in Toronto, the Free to Be program. So that is all from me, other than wishing you good luck. If you have any questions, again, you can send me an email, heather@diabeteshopefoundation.com. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend when it gets here and that your next semester goes well. And I look forward to connecting with you through our programs or through the scholarship. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.